calculus, advanced algebra, intermediate algebra, trigonometry, elementary algebra, geometry, mga araling dapat tuklasin, mathematics learning area, mathematics kahit saan, kahit kailan, mathematics, maaasahan, inyong tututukan dito sa 106.3 DWDR-FM. Basta Dance Radio, learning is amazing!
Ayan! Hello! Kumusta po kayong lahat? I hope you are doing well, especially to our grade 8 special science class learners. Really, a happy Friday afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Math Alive sa Facebook Live and happy listening on Dance Radio 106.3 FM. Today is February 18, 2022. Yours truly is Teacher Marley Jane Espiritu, together with my partner, Teacher Sunny Bugawisan. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, Ma'am Marley Jane. I hope na kayang-kaya natin ito kasi wala si Ma'am Mari for today because of very important matter that she attended at Delphine Albano Isabela.
Yes.
And of course, I would like to greet our learners, grade 8 learners, section 8 Socrates, 8 Copernicus, and 8 Aristotle. And for today, we're going to discuss about multiplication and division of radical expression. And with us for today, to our Facebook Live, siyempre ang ating mga learning facilitator na nandito ngayon. Unahin ko si Teacher Marilyn Juliano, Teacher Delma Quaresma, Teacher Maria Corazon Molina, our master teacher, and of course, Ma'am Naida Mangabad. Shout out sa lahat din ng ating mga kasama sa Mathematics Learning Area. Magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Okay, back to you, Ma'am Marley.
Yes. Siyempre, hindi natin makakalimutang i-greet ang ating mga gwapong-gwapong technical specialist. Si Teacher Dennis, si Teacher Jashiel, at saka si Teacher Mark. Good afternoon, sir, sa inyong lahat. So before the airing of the RBI lesson, let me give you the first math ruleta question.
Okay, yan ma'am, bago natin ibigay yung first math ruleta question, gusto rin natin batiin ang mga gwapong-gwapo na sabi mo na kanina. At syempre sa ating head teacher na on leave for today because of hindi magandang pangyayari na namatay yung kanyang nanay kagabi. So, nandun sa kanilang bahay sa ngayon. At siyempre to our fatherly officer in charge, Dr. Rodrigo B. Pascua. Isang magandang hapon din sa inyo, sir. Okay, back to you, ma'am.
So to our dear learners, do not forget to comment your full name and section in our chat box for your attendance. Kindly get now your paper and pen so you can be with us in our discussion. So we are inviting everyone, especially the grade 8 learners, to participate. Answer the math ruleta questions by typing your name, your section, the question number, and of course, your answer in the chat box. So whoever will be the first 10 students who can send the correct answer will be included in the math raffle. So to have the chance of winning a 30 peso worth of load sponsored by Ma'am Larna Tan Levado. Thank you so much po. May God bless you more.
Yes, ma'am. So, pwede na nating basahin ang ating first question na naantala kanina. So, pakibasa na ma'am yung first question.
Yes, sir. So, ready na sa ating math ruleta question number 1.
Yes.
So, what is the sum of, sa picture of papaya, plus a picture of kaong plus a picture of grapes in simple form. Letter A, a picture of papaya plus a picture of kaong plus a picture of grapes. Letter B, fruit salad. C, papaya, kaong, and raisin. And letter D, all of the above. Yan, ulitin natin, sir.
Yes, ma'am. So, ang first question natin ay ito Suggestion ito ni Ma'am Dante kasi. What is the sum of papaya plus kaong plus grapes in simple form? Is it papaya plus kaong plus grapes? B, fruit salad. Letter C, papaya, kaong, and raisin. Or D, all of the above. So kung gusto nyo magkaroon ng 30 pesos load, so i-send na ang iyong answer sa ating chat box. Thank you very much.
Go, go, go! So this time, may we now have the airing of RBI lesson on multiplication and division of radicals.
Precalculus,
Advanced Algebra,
Intermediate Algebra, Trigonometry,
Elementary Algebra,
Geometry, mga aralin na dapat tuklasin.
Mathematics Learning Area,
Mathematics, kahit saan, kahit kailan.
Mathematics maaasahan.
Inyong tututukan dito sa
106.3
Dance Radio.
Learning is amazing! A blessed and healthy day, Grade 8 Special Science Class learners! I am your radio teacher, Teacher Rowella S. Santos. Once again, I will be with you for another fruitful encounter for today's episode. Are you ready, my dear learners?
Yes, ma'am!
Before we proceed to our lesson, let me give you some reminders. You can jot down important points on your paper as we go on with the discussion, and most importantly, you must listen attentively for better understanding of the lesson. Is it clear, dear learners?
Yes, ma'am!
Can you still remember our last RBI lesson during the first quarter, dear learners?
Yes, ma'am!
What is it all about?
Ma'am, it's all about direct variation, inverse variation, and combined variations.
That's right. Let's see if you can still recall our past lesson. If y varies directly as x, if y equals 12, when x equals 4, find the constant of variation. Ready? Go, go, go!
To find the constant of variation k, we use k equals y over x. If y equals 12, when x equals 4, then 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3. Therefore, 3 is the constant of the variation, ma'am.
Exactly! Consequently, what is the value of x when y equals 36?
Since k equals 3, our equation is y equals 3x. Solving for x, we substitute 36 in terms of y and dividing both sides by 3. Therefore, x is equal to 12, ma'am.
Good job! Let us consider this problem. If y varies inversely as x and y equals 20 when x equals 8, find the constant of variation.
To find the constant of variation k, we use k equals y multiplied by x. If y equals 20 when x equals 8, then 20 times 8 is equal to 160. Therefore, 160 is the constant of the variation, ma'am.
Amazing! Without looking at your notes, who can give the equation of the variation?
Since k is equal to 160, so the equation is y equals 160 over x, ma'am.
That's correct! Did you get the same answer, dear learners?
Yes, ma'am!
Very good! You are all correct! You really learned a lot! Keep up the good work, dear learners! The concepts and skills that we are going to discuss today are about radical expressions. You are going to simplify, add, and subtract radical expressions and their application in real life. Class, let's start our session today with this activity. I am going to test your intuition by mentally answering the following questions. Number 1. Eggplant plus eggplant.
2 eggplants, ma'am.
Absolutely correct. We can write the addition phrase as 1 eggplant plus 1 eggplant equals 1 plus 1 eggplant equals 2 eggplants. Number 2. I have 10 puppies. I sold 7 puppies. How many puppies do I have now?
3 puppies, ma'am.
Yes, you are correct. We can have its mathematical phrase as 10 puppies minus 7 puppies equals 3 puppies. 10 minus 7 equals 3. How about number 3? 5 melons plus 3 mangoes.
Ma'am, the answer is 5 melons plus 3 mangoes because we cannot combine melon and mango together.
Yes, you are right. In addition, we can only add or subtract objects or things of the same kind. Did you get it, my dear learners?
Yes, ma'am!
The same principle is applied to addition and subtraction of radical expressions. However, we need to express first the radical expression in the simplest form. Let's take some examples. Example number 1. Square root of 8. What is the simplest form of square root of 8? Ready? Go, go, go!
2 the square root of 2, ma'am. The factors of square root of 8 are square root of 4 and square root of 2. And square root of 4 is 2. Therefore, square root of 8 is equal to 2 the square root of 2, ma'am.
Very well said! Square root of 8 is equal to 2 square root of 2. What about the cube root of 180? What is the simplest form of the cube root of 180? Ready? Go, go, go!
3 cube root of 4, ma'am. The factors of cube root of 180 are cube root of 27 and cube root of 4. And cube root of 27 is 3. Therefore, cube root of 180 is equal to 3 cube root of 4, ma'am.
Wow! You got it right, dear learner! Now, let us proceed to addition and subtraction of radical expressions. To illustrate this, on page 1 of your learning activity sheets, you are to perform the indicated operations. Letter A. 15 square root of 6 minus 8 square root of 6 plus square root of 6. Again, 15 square root of 6 minus 8 square root of 6 plus square root of 6. What is your answer? Ready? Go, go, go!
15 the square root of 6 minus 8 the square root of 6 plus the square root of 6 equals 8 the square root of 6, ma'am. Since all terms are similar, then we can add or subtract them immediately. That is, the quantity 15 minus 8 plus 1, the square root of 6 equals 8 the square root of 6.
Very well said, dear learner! To add or subtract similar radicals or radicals of the same kind, we simply add or subtract the numerical coefficients and affix the radical part. Let us take the second example on page 2. Letter B. 4 square root of 2 plus 3 square root of 8 minus 10 square root of 18. I repeat, 4 square root of 2 plus 3 square root of 8 minus 10 square root of 18 in the given problem, the terms are not similar. What are you going to do?
Ma'am, first, express each term in simplest form. 4 square root of 2 is already in simplest form. 3 square root of 8 can be written as 3 square root of 4 times square root of 2 equals 3 times 2 square root of 2 and finally 6 square root of 2.
That's correct. 3 square root of 8 equals 6 square root of 2. Who can continue?
Ma'am, for negative 10 square root of 18 can also be written as negative 10 the square root of 9 times square root of 2 equals negative 10 times 3 the square root of 2 simplified to negative 30 the square root of 2.
You are correct. Negative 10 square root of 18 equals negative 30 square root of 2. All terms are already in simplest terms. We're writing 4 square root of 2 plus 3 square root of 8 minus 10 square root of 18. It becomes 4 square root of 2 plus 6 square root of 2 minus 30 square root of 2. What is the final answer? Ready? Go, go, go!
Ma'am, 4 square root of 2 plus 6 square root of 2 minus 30 square root of 2 equals negative 20 square root of 2.
Very good! To add or subtract the similar radicals, we rewrite the radicals in the simplest form and go back in addition or subtraction of similar radicals. Did you get it, dear learners?
Yes, ma'am!
Good! Let's have letter C on page 2. 3 cube root of 8x raised to 4 minus x cube root of 27x. Perform the indicated operation and be ready with your answers after a short break.
COVID-19 has caused loss of lives and economic hardship all over the world. It has changed our habits and the way we live while testing our public health systems and impacting on our livelihoods. With this, the role of environmental health practitioner has never been more vital as we face up to the ongoing challenges this pandemic. Many changes are about to happen for a greener environment, more equal and more stabilized economy. COVID-19 pandemic has resulted numerous impacts on the environment and climate. But amid this crisis, we have a chance to build a better community and environment. Hashtag healthy environment. Hashtag healthy community.
We're back, dear learners! Now, let us have the expression 3 cube root of 8x raised to 4 minus x cube root of 27x. What is the difference?
The difference of 3 the cube root of 8x raised to 4 and x the cube root of 27x is equal to 3x the cube root of x, ma'am.
You are correct! How did you come up with your answer?
We rewrite 3 the cube root of 8x raised to 4 and x the cube root of 27x in the simplest form. So, 3 the cube root of 8x raised to 4 is 3 the cube root of 8x cubed times the cube root of x equals 3 times 2x the cube root of x, and it is equal to 6x the cube root of x, while x the cube root of 27x is equal to x times 3 the cube root of x, which is equal to 3x the cube root of x. Rewriting the expression to the simplest form, we have 6x the cube root of x minus 3x the cube root of x, which is equal to 3x the cube root of x, ma'am.
You are right! You explained it clearly, my dear learner. I am glad because you understood the concepts of addition and subtraction of radicals, my dear learners. Your next task is on page 3 titled Perform It. You are to perform the operations in the following expressions. Number 1. 2 square root of 50 plus square root of 8 minus 3 square root of 2. I repeat, 2 square root of 50 plus square root of 8 minus 3 square root of 2. Number 2. 2x cube root of 24x plus 5 cube root of 81x raised to 4. Again, 2x cube root of 24x plus 5 cube root of 81x raised to 4. Your answers will be checked after a short reminder.
Nangangamba baka magka-COVID?
Huwag mag-alala. Narito ang mga tips upang makaiwas sa COVID-19.
Una, social distancing. Umiwas muna sa matataong lugar. Huwag lumabas ng bahay kung hindi naman kinakailangan. Kung may distansya, safe ka.
Ikalawa, panatilihing malinis ang katawan.
Ugaliin ang paghugas ng kamay.
Sabon at alkohol are real.
Palakasin ang katawan.
At vitamins ay huwag kalilimutan.
At ikatlo, laging magsuot ng face mask bilang proteksyon laban sa virus. Kung protektado, siguradong sa virus ay negatibo.
Mga kapatid, tips ay tandaan upang COVID-19 ay maiwasan.
Isang paalala mula sa Tonyong Aurora National High School at ng himpilang ito.
We're back, dear learners! Can you share your solutions?
Ma'am, in number 1, since the radicands are not in simplest form, I simplified 2 square root of 50 and square root of 8. The factors of 2 square root of 50 are 2 square root of 25 times square root of 2. Simplifying it, 2 times 5 square root of 2 equals 10 square root of 2, while the factors of square root of 8 are square root of 4 and square root of 2, which is equal to 2 square root of 2. Rewriting the expression, it becomes 10 square root of 2 plus 2 square root of 2 minus 3 square root of 2. Simplifying it further, the quantity of 10 plus 2 minus 3 square root of 2, which is equal to 9 square root of 2, ma'am.
Exactly! You got it right! Did you get the same answer, my dear learners?
Yes, ma'am!
That's nice to hear! What about the next number?
Ma'am, simplifying 2x the cube root of 24x equals 2x the cube root of 8 times the cube root of 3x, which is equal to 2x times 2 the cube root of 3x equals 4x the cube root of 3x. Simplifying 5 the cube root of 81x raised to 4 equals 5 times the cube root of 27x cubed times the cube root of 3x, which is equal to 5 times 3x the cube root of 3x, and the product is 15x the cube root of 3x. Rewriting the expression, it becomes 4x the cube root of 3x plus 15x the cube root of 3x, which is equal to 19x, the cube root of 3x, ma'am.
Yes, you are correct. Did you get the same answer, dear learners?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, dear learners, for the amazing performance. What do you need to remember in adding and subtracting radical expressions, dear learners?
Ma'am, in adding or subtracting radicals, express all terms in simplest form.
Yes! My dear learners, remember, in adding or subtracting radicals, express all terms in the simplest form. Any more?
Ma'am, when all terms are already in simplest form, add or subtract the numerical coefficients and affix the common radicals.
Wow! You did a good job, dear learners! May we now have a simple assessment to know whether you really understood the lesson or not. Here we go. Number 1. Write square root of 75 in simplest form. I repeat. Write square root of 75 in simplest form. Number 2. What about the sum of 2 square root of 3 plus square root of 12? Again, what is the sum of 2 square root of 3 plus square root of 12? Number 3. 6x square root of 5 plus 3x square root of 5 minus 5 square root of 7 minus 7 square root of 7. I repeat, 6x square root of 5 plus 3x square root of 5 minus 5 square root of 7 minus 7 square root of 7. We will check your answers after a short break.
Naku, malapit na ang pasahan ng outputs.
Retrieval time na naman. Narito ang mga dapat mong tandaan sa pagpasa ng outputs mo, Kadonyan.
Tiyaking nakasulat ang iyong pangalan sa bawat subject na iyong ipapasa.
Oops, huwag ding kalimutang isulat ang iyong seksyon kung saan ka kabilang.
Mahalagang lagyan din ng label na Week 1,
Week 2, 3 o 4 ang iyong outputs kung anong aralin
at bilang nito upang malaman ng guro kung kumpleto ang iyong ipinasang outputs sa bawat linggo. Kadonyan!
Kung maaari, isulat din ang pangalan ng iyong guro sa bawat subject.
Kung may color coding, sundin ito upang madaling malaman ng iyong advisor at maibigay sa tamang guro.
Paghiwalayin ang mga sagutang papel sa bawat subject.
Huwag paghaluin ang iyong mga sagot sa dalawang subject sa iisang papel.
Kung masusunod mo ang mga ito, tiyak ang mga guro ay hindi malilito.
Sa pagpasa ng mga outputs, tiyaking maayos at organisado.
Ayusin ang output batay sa mga sumusunod na bawat aralin.
Una, sagot ng mga gawain. Pangalawa, refleksyon.
Pangatlo, lingguang pagtataya.
At pang-apat, summative test kung mayroon.
Isang paalala mula sa pamunuan ng Tonya Ororo National High School at ng istasyong ito.
We are back! Let's check your answers. What is the simplest form of square root of 75?
Ma'am, square root of 75 in simplest form is 5 square root of 3.
You got it right. It's 5 square root of 3. What about number 2?
The sum of 2 the square root of 3 plus square root of 12 is 4 the square root of 3, ma'am.
You are correct. And the last one?
6x square root of 5 plus 3x square root of 5 minus 5 square root of 7 minus 7 square root of 7 is equal to 9x square root of 5 minus 12 square root of 7, ma'am.
Perfect. Did you get them all, dear learners?
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations, dear learners, for a job well done. Radical expressions can have a real-world application in the field, like architecture, carpentry, and masonry. Aside from this, can you think of other applications of radical expressions?
Ma'am, radical expressions are utilized in financial industries to calculate formulas for depreciation, inflation, and bank interest.
That's great, my dear learner. Any more?
Ma'am, electrical engineers also use radical expressions for measurement and calculations. Biologists compare animal surface areas with radical exponents for size comparison in scientific research.
Wow! You are all amazing, dear learners. After knowing the application of radical expressions in real life, do you still want to be an electrical engineer or architect or biologist or financial specialist? Why or why not? You may write your reflection on a sheet of paper and place it in your portfolio. Wow! We're done! You did a great job, grade 8 science class learners! Congratulations to all of you! If you still have some questions on how to do all the activities in your learning activity sheets, you may contact your teacher in Intermediate Algebra. Is it clear, dear learners?
Yes, ma'am!
As we end our session today, I would like to acknowledge the teachers behind this RBI lesson. Teacher Absalon T. Bugawisan, our scriptwriter. Teacher Rufino R. Pomeda Jr. and Teacher Mardy C. De La Cruz, our technical specialists. Teacher Jonah A. Buduan, our language editor. Ma'am Merlinda D. Dante, Head Teacher 5, Mathematics Learning Area, our content editor, and I am Teacher Rowella S. Santos, your radio teacher, leaving you this quote by Raymond Williams. To be truly radical is to make hope possible rather than despair convincing. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Goodbye.
Precalculus,
Advanced Algebra,
Intermediate Algebra, Trigonometry,
Elementary Algebra,
Geometry, mga aralin na dapat tuklasin.
Mathematics Learning Area,
Mathematics, kahit saan, kahit kailan.
Mathematics maaasahan.
Inyong tututukan dito sa
106.3
Dance Radio.
Learning is amazing!
Dance Radio, siniparalan sa radyo, atid namin makabago, paraan ang pagtuturo.
Wala nang makakapigil pa. Sulong Arangkada 106.3 Dance Radio sa Aurora, Isabela.
Edukasyo'y susulong, basta na magtulong-tulong, sulong edukalidad. Dance Radio, learning is amazing.
Wow, thank you very much, Ma'am Marley. We're back once again.
Yes,
And
sir.
thank you din sa ating mga mag-aral because they are still tuning in into our program sa ating Math Alive sa Facebook Live. And I hope they have listened attentively to our lesson on addition and subtraction of radicals. And this will be deepened by our learning facilitators as we go on one by one. So, maybe it's now time for us to announce the winner or those students who get the correct answer in the first roulette question. So to recognize them, may I read the name of those who got the correct answer? Sarah Lee Tan of 7 Newton, Corinne Gail Agas of 8 Socrates, and Arian Faye Carnate of 8 Copernicus. At meron pang isang nakapahabol si Twinkle Faith Arenzana of 8 Copernicus. So, tignan natin kung sino ang mananalo ng 30 pesos load. Paikutin na natin ang ating ruleta ng kapalaran, ma'am. Yeah.
Habang pinapaikot, ano ba ang sagot, sir?
Yes, ang answer ay, siyempre, letter A, ma'am.
Yes!
Okay, parang ganun kasi yung yung principle natin sa addition and subtraction of radicals. Hindi natin pwedeng pagsamahin, ma'am. So our winner is, the lucky winner is Twinkle Faith Arenzana of 8 Copernicus. Congratulations! Okay, so congratulations, Twinkle Faith. Sana mananalo ka ulit sa mga susunod nating questions. So may we invite now our learning facilitators, Ma'am Cora, to read us, to review about the RBI lesson and to read us the terminologies we're going to discuss in this lesson. Ma'am Cora, it's your turn.
Thank you, Sir Sunny. Naririnig ba? Parang mahina. Okay na? Okay. Thank you once again, Sir Sunny. So let us have a simple review of our episode today, the RBI lesson on addition and subtraction of radicals. So to add or subtract radicals, the indices and what is inside the radical, which is called the radicand, must be the same. So the radicands and the radicands should be the same, and as well as the indices should be the same also. Next, if the indices and the radicands are the same, then add or subtract the terms in front of its like radical. So what does it mean? The numbers before the radical symbol should be added or subtracted if the radicands are the same, and likewise if the indices are the same. Third, if the indices or radicands are not the same, then we cannot add or subtract the radicals. We can only add or subtract similar radicals. So that was those were the things you learned from our RBI lesson today. Now we have the different terminologies. First terminology is the two words square root. Square root is one of the two equal factors of a given number. The radicand is the area of the square, and the simplified answer is the length of each side of the square. Next, we have the principal square root. What is the principal square root? This refers to the positive square root of a given number. The principal square root of 9 is positive 3. So 3 is the positive square root of 9. Next, the negative square root. The negative square root of 9 is negative 3. Okay? If you multiply negative 3 by itself, then we go back to the same radicand, which is 9. Next, we have the radical symbol. The radical symbol is, parang yung division sign may kulang lang na quit pataas. That is the square root sign or square root symbol. Okay? Next, we have the radicand. The radicand is the number or expression inside the radical symbol or sign. So we have the square root of 3. 3 is what we call the radicand. And we have the last perfect square. What is a perfect square? A perfect square is a number that is the square root of a given, hindi ko mabasa. Okay? The square root of a given integer. For example, we have 1. The square of 1 is 1. The square of 2 is 4. Square of 3 is 9, square of 4 is 16, and so forth and so on. And these are what we call perfect squares. Okay, back to you, Sir Sunny and Ma'am Marley Jane.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Cora, for a very clear explanation of the terminologies which can help our dear grade 8 SSC learners in their lesson for today. So, eto na. Hindi na natin patatagalin pa. Eto na ang Math Ruleta question number 2. What is square root of 8 in simple form? Letter A, square root of 2. Letter B, 2 square root of 3. Letter C, 3 square root of 2. And letter D, 4 square root of 2. I repeat. What is square root of 8 in simple form? A, square root of 2. B, 2 square root of 3. Letter C, 3 square root of 2. And letter D, 4 square root of 2. So, ayan mga anak, sagot na para manalo ng 30 peso worth of load. Go, go, go! Our objective for today's live streaming is for students to perform multiplication and division of radical expressions. So, wag na nating patagalin. May we now have Teacher Cora again to discuss multiplication of radicals with examples.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Marley Jane. So, we will start with the multiplication of radicals. So, on the screen, you can see two radical symbols with the multiplication sign, but that is not really the multiplication symbol that we are using, but that is an asterisk, okay? The square root of, blanco kasi Sir Sunny, maglalagay nga ako ng radicand dyan. The square root of n multiplied by the square root of m, or the square root of a times the square root of b. Ayan. Okay. To multiply radicals, you are going to multiply the coefficients. Wala tayong coefficients yan. Maglagay ka ng coefficients, Ma'am Del. So, in the first radical sign, let us have, anong ilalagay mo? 2 square root of x multiplied by, nabubura siya, okay? 3 square root of x. Ayan, okay. Nabura na naman. So, that is 2 square root of x while ago multiplied by 3 square root of x. What does it mean by the first rule there? First step is you multiply 2 and 3. Yung nasa labas ay yung nasa left. Okay? 2 times 3 is 6. Yan na yung first product natin. And then, next one is multiply the radicands. And what are the radicands? Pareho ang radicands natin. We have both x in the same radical. Okay. Multiply x by x, we have x squared. So, what is the square root of x squared? Alam nyo na yan. So, what is the square root of x? Says there, simplify the remaining radical. So, the remaining radical there is square root of x squared. Let us simplify then. What is the square root of x? It is x. So, what is the product? The product is 6x. Okay, maliwanag ba? Siyempre, pangalawang topic na live streaming namin ito na may ganitong lesson. Okay? So, we have example 1. Let us apply the rules. Find the product of square root of 5 and square root of 35. Square root of 5 times square root of 35, you are going to multiply 5 and 35, which are the radicands. Ano ang product ng 5 and 35? That is 175. After that, we simplify. We are going to think of a perfect square factor like 25. 25 is a perfect square. Another factor is 7. I-multiply mo ang 25 sa 7, it will go back to 175. Now, finally, the answer is 5. Square root of 7, saan nakuha yung 5? Of course, the square root of 25 is 5. So, final answer, 5 is square root of 7. Now, we move on to example number 2. What is example number 2? Applying the steps while ago, we have quantity 3 is square root of 5. That is the first factor. Second factor is 2 is square root of 7. According to the first step, you multiply the coefficients 3 and 2. Okay, nakikita nyo sa screen. 3 and 2. So, we have another 5 times 7. The remaining radicals are square root of 5 and square root of 7. I-multiply natin ang 5 at saka 7. That will give us 35. Now, 3 times 2 there is 6. Times square root of 35. Walang perfect square na factor na makukuha doon sa 35. Square root of 35. So that is already the simplest answer. That cannot be reduced anymore. Okay. So, do we have still example number 3? That is the last. So, we only have examples 1 and 2. Later on, ma'am, we have the math roulette number 2. Okay, take it away, Ma'am Marley Jane and Sir Sunny.
Wala pa bang answer dyan, ma'am?
Thank you, ma'am, sa napaka-meaty na explanation ng ating lesson for today on multiplication of radicals. Mukha yatang marami ang nag-pass ng kanilang mga sagot, kaya medyo nahihirapan ang ating mga organizers. May nanalo na ba, Ma'am Marilyn and Ma'am Naida? Okay.
Okay, so habang inintay natin yung listahan, parang 1 to 100 ata yung nag-send ng kanilang sagot. Kaya mahirapan din yung mag-type sa ruleta.
So, ayan.
Yan, ang dami talaga.
Narito ang first 10 winners o first 10 na nakapag-pass ng kanilang tamang sagot para sa ating math ruleta question number 2. Jeslar Acedo of 8 Aristotle, Jamie Miel Lamog of 8 Aristotle, Cassandra Javier of 8 Copernicus, TJ Antolin of 8 Copernicus, Arian Faye Carnate of 8 Copernicus, Kit Magaway of 8 SPJ, Sara May Berrioso of 8 Aristotle, Jens Rian Domingo of 7 Newton, Sanjiro Nitura of 7 Newton, and Sweetel Faith Arensana of 8 Copernicus.
Yes,
So, paikutin na natin yan, Teacher Naida and Teacher Marilyn.
Kung sino ang mapalad na winner natin sa ating second question. So, congratulations to, again,
Sara May Berrioso of 8 Aristotle. Congratulations!
Yes, congratulations. And of course, for the consumption of the learners who are listening right now, napakadami sila, more than 250,000. The answer is the square root. And there is a reminder here, yung mga naglilista po, yung mga pangalan na nagsesan, dapat isulat yung question number. Kasi nahihirapan sila kung wala yung question number, no? Yes. Okay. Yes. At wag mo nang ilagay yung CP number. Iko-contactin na lang kayo kapag kayong nanalo, no? Okay, ulitin natin para malaman nila yung sagot. What is the square root of 8 in simple form or simplest form? The answer is letter B. That is 2 is square root of 2. Okay, so that is the correct answer. So, may we go back now to Ma'am Delma for her IPBO.
Sir, question number 3 pa muna tayo.
So, before we proceed, may we read first question number 3. Para sa ganon, makaready kayo sa pag-answer sa tamang sagot. So, this is now the third question. Find the product of square root of 5 multiplied by square root of 10 in simplest form or simple form. Is it A, 2 square root of 5, B, 5 square root of 5, C, 5 square root of 2, or D, 5 square root of 10? Again, find the product of square root of 5 times square root of 10 in simple form. A, 2 square root of 5, B, 5 square root of 5, C, 5 square root of 2, or D, 5 square root of 10. Siyempre, para maging successful kayo sa pagsagot nito, kailangan i-follow natin si Ma'am Delma sa kanyang IFIVO annotator. Ma'am Delma, take it away.
Okay, thank you Sir Sunny. Okay mga anak, ito pa yung karagdagan nating examples for multiplication ng radicals. But if you notice, itong examples natin na nakikita nyo, naka-flash ay meron ng variables. Meron tayong x. Oo, si x na naman ang pag-uusapan.
Ilan na bang x mo, Ma'am Delma?
Hindi ko na binibilang, sir. Sige,
Marami siyang
asan
x.
na? Baka nagdi-disappear yung ink natin. I-ayos muna natin yung pen. Okay, let's solve problem number 1. We have negative 2 cube root of 7x times 6 cube root of 49x squared. Sabi ni Ma'am Cora kanina, ang imumultiply natin ay yun munang coefficients tapos yung radicand. That is, kung ang index natin ay pareho. So dahil sa example natin, cube root naman pareho, so pwede natin siyang i-multiply. So multiply natin mga anak, we have negative 2 times 6 is negative 12 times, ayun na, cube root 7 times 49. Ay, nawala yung times. Yung dot doon mga anak, times yun ha. 7x pala yun. Okay. Ando muna natin. 7x. Yan. Times 7x.
Yellow sa
times 49x squared. Yan. So, tuloy natin. Negative 12
pwede
times
maging
7. 49 yun, that's actually 7 cube. Para makita nyo clearly paano natin na simplify. Si 49 ay 7 squared. Meron tayong 7 dito, kaya 7 cube. Ito x squared, so yan ay x cube. Okay, so pwede natin siyang isimplify ngayon. Negative 12 times, pwede na, dahil perfect cube siya, ito makakancel natin 3 yan. 3, pare-pareho. So, ang sagot nito ay 7x. Kasi ang cube root ng 7 times 49 ay 7. At ang cube root ng x cube ay x. So, pag-multiplyin natin itong natitira, 12 times, negative 12 times 7 is equal to 80, negative 84. Mali yung pinili kong ink. Blue din. So, ang sagot natin sa problem number 1 ay negative 84x. Magpalit tayo ng ink.
yellow, ma'am. Baka mas maganda.
Oh, yellow. Ay, yellow daw. Yellow. Sige, palit tayo ng yellow. So, next, sa number 2 naman natin.
Yan.
Ayan, binomials naman to. Okay, so i-apply natin mga anak yung FOIL ha. Kaya lang, yung FOIL natin, yung terms natin, may radicals. O, di ba masaya? So, huwag niyong kalilimutan na yung mga napag-aaralan nyo sa math, dapat yan ay nai-store kasi i-apply yan habang kayo ay tumataas doon lang grade level. So, aramas nyo yan, weapon. So, apply natin ang FOIL. 4 times 6 is 24. Ay, mahaba to kaya i-move natin. I-move natin konti dito. So, equals 4 times 6 is 24. Okay, next. 4 times cube root of 49x squared. So, that would be minus... Ay, bakit minus 24 minus 4 cube root of 49 x squared. Okay. And then next, ito. Tapos yon, ito naman, negative cube root of 7x times 6 is negative 6 cube root of 7, ang pangit ng sulat, 7x. And then yung last term natin, negative cube root of 7x times negative cube root of 49x squared. So that is positive cube root of 7 times 49, that is 7 cube pa rin. Naalala nyo yung kanina? So 7 cube x cube. Yan. So, simplify natin. Walang magkakapareho. May masisimplify dyan. Yung nalang last. So, we have 24 minus 4 cube root of 49x squared minus 6 cube root of 7x. Ito ay masisimplify natin ng plus 7x na lang. And, yan na yung final answer. So, sana nakatulong. Kung medyo nabilisan kayo mga anak sa ating live streaming, huwag kayong mag-alala kasi after ng episode natin, pwede nyong panoorin ulit para ma-post nyo para sa discussion. So, pwede kayong mag-rewatch dahil recorded ang ating episode. Okay, so that's it for our 2 examples ng multiplication of radicals. And back to you, Ma'am Marley and Sir Sunny.
Salamat, Teacher Delma, sa napakahusay na pagpapaliwanag. Sana lang, mga grade 8 learners, marami kayong natutunan through Ma'am Delma's examples. So at ngayon, panahon na para i-reveal natin ang sagot sa question number 3. Ano ang sagot, Sir Sunny?
Yes. The answer is 5, the square root of 2. And you will get this one as you follow the explanation of Ma'am Cora and Ma'am Delma a while back. So, pwede na nating i-reveal ang mga panalo, Ma'am Marley?
Yes, the first 10 lucky students who have given the correct answer. We have Jamie Miel Lamug of 8 Aristotle, Arian Faye Carnate of 8 Copernicus, Kit Magaway of 8 SPJ, Sarah May Beryoso of 8 Aristotle, Sanjiro Nitura of 7 Newton, Jessica Ramos of 9 Pasture, Sweetel Faith Arenzana of 8 Copernicus, Cassandra Javier of 8 Copernicus, Jesser Acedo, 8 Aristotle, and TJ Antolin of 8 Copernicus.
Wow! Congratulations mga anak sa mga bumubuhos na nagbibigay ng tamang sagot. Dumadami na yung 250,000 natin. And
wow!
The lucky winner once again for the second time, Sweetel Faith Arenzana of 8 Copernicus. Congratulations!
Yes,
Wow.
Congratulations, Sweetel.
So, huwag
You
kang
will be
magsawang
given a 30 peso worth of load courtesy of Ma'am Larnatan Nevado.
Meron na siyang 60 pesos, pwede na kaming maghati. Okay, so it's now time for us to read the fourth Roleta question. So kung gusto nyong manalo, kailangan makinig kayo mabuti sa tanong. And then, bakit parehas yung tanong dito? Okay, so kung na lang ma'am sa ano, bakit naging parehas yan? Sa 5 na lang, sa 5. Okay. So this is now the last question na babasahin natin bakit parehas yung tanong doon. Okay, so here is now the question. Find the quotient of 2 plus the square root of 8 all over the square root of 2 minus the square root of 8 in simple form once again. Is it letter A, square root of 2 minus 2? Negative square root of 2 plus 2? Letter C, square root of 2 plus 2? Or letter D, negative square root of 2 minus 2? Again, find the quotient of 2 plus the square root of 8 all over square root of 2 minus 8 in
Square root of
simple
8.
form. Is it A, square root of 2 minus 2, negative square root of 2 plus 2, C, square root of 2 plus 2, or negative square root of 2 minus 2?
So, ayan. Sagot na mga anak. So, habang inihintay namin ang inyong sagot, once again, may we call on Teacher Cora to discuss division of radicals.
Okay. So, let's move on to the next operation. This is the division of radicals. Again, we have there two radicals. Square root of, maglalagay nga tayo, Ma'am Del. Mahirap basahin po pag walang laman. Okay. Lagyan natin ng radicand. Okay. Square root of A divided by square root of B.
Yes.
Okay. Yan na ba talaga? Ilalagay natin? Number na lang. Okay, number na lang. Benamano kasi yun eh. Okay, we have square root of 4 divided by square root of, bahala ka na Ma'am Delma. Okay, square root of 3. Okay. We have the same radicand, the same indices I should say. The radicands are 4 and 3, magkaiba. To divide radicals, divide the coefficients, divide the radicands if possible, and then rationalize the denominator so that no radical remains in the denominator. Okay. So we divide. So sinulat na ni Ma'am Delma, square root of 4 over square root of 3. Again, we cannot divide 4 and 3 exactly. So, maiiwan ang square root of 4, that is 2. Tama ba, Ma'am Del? Square root of 4 is equal to 2 divided by square root of 3. Bakit hindi pa natatanggal yung radical sign doon sa baba? Okay. What do we need? We need to rationalize the denominator. Ayun. Rationalize. So, multiply the numerator by square root of 3 and then multiply the denominator again by square root of 3. Ang clue dito mga anak ay yung radical sign sa baba. Same multiplier natin. Okay, let us now simplify the numerator. 2 multiplied by square root of 3 is 2 square root of 3. Divided by, we are now in the denominator, square root of 3 multiplied by square root of 3 will be square root of 3 squared. Or, it can be square root of 9. And what is the square root of 9 or the square root of 3 squared? It is 3. Okay, so what is the final answer? The final answer is 2 square root of 3 over 3. We cannot simplify that anymore. Take note, we cannot cancel square root of 3 and 3. Baka yun ang common mistake yan ng mga learners. Okay, so yan na yung final answer. Do not cancel square root of 3 and 3. Now, we have the first example. Example number 3. Find the quotient of square root of 6 divided by, find the quotient of square root of 6 by square root of 7. Now, the denominator, take note, is square root of 7. Square root of 7 cannot be simplified, so we have to rationalize the denominator. Bakit tayo nagra-rationalize ng denominator? Ito ay para mawala yung radical sign sa denominator. Okay? Again, the denominator is square root of 7. Yun ang clue natin. So, the numerator is multiplied by square root of 7 and the denominator by square root of 7. Mag-simplify na tayo. Multiplied numerator ay multiply 6 and 7, that is 42. And then, multiply the radicands in the denominator. 7 times 7 is 49. I-simplify na natin yung baba, denominator. We have now the final answer is square root of 42 over 7 because the square root of 49 is 7. Ayan, napakaliwanag. Okay, take note. Square root of 42 cannot be simplified anymore because there is no perfect square as a factor of 42. Okay? Now, we move on to example number 3. Okay, that is square root of number 4 na tayo, nawawala. Okay? Number 4. Find the quotient of that is 3 divided by square root of 12. Paano natin isi-simplify ito? Okay, take note. We write 3 as the numerator and then 12, square root of 12 is the denominator. Dapat mawawala yung radical sign sa denominator. Paano natin gagawin yan? Of course, we multiply the numerator by square root of 3. Okay, paano? 12 naman yung nasa baba. Okay? Square root of 12 is 4 times 3. Or square root of 4 times 3. Hindi lang naipakita mga anak kung paano naging square root of 3 yung multiplier. Again, square root of 12 is square root of 4 times 3. Okay? So, meron tayong square root of 3 doon. So, we multiply the numerator by square root of 3 and the denominator by square root of 3. Okay? And then after that, we multiply the numerator 3 and square root of 3 so that we now have 12 times 3, that is 36. So the new radicand now is 36. So we simplify 3 multiplied by square root of 3 is 3 square root of 3 divided by, what is the square root of 36? It is 6. Ayan. Yan. Okay. Let us now simplify 3 square root of 3 over 6. That is square root of 3 over 2. Tama ba? Okay. Square root of 3 over 2, we simplify 3 over 6. That is 1/2. Multiplied by square root of 3. Okay? Last example. Ayan. Find the quotient. Rationalize the following. Okay, rationalize. Right? That is square root of, iisa yung radical sign natin, square root of 98c cubed over d raised to 7, where d is not equal to 0. Okay. Magfa-factor tayo sa itaas, sa numerator. That is 2 square root of 2 times 49 because 2 times 49 is equal to 98. And then c cube, ifa-factor natin ang c cube, magiging c squared times c. Divided by, ifa-factor naman uli natin yung d raised to 7, that is d squared times d squared times d squared. Pwede namang d raised to the 6 yan. Okay? Kanya-kanyang paraan. Now, we simplify the numerator. Square root of 49 is 7. Square root of c squared is c. So, we have 7c sa ilabas na yon. Multiplied by 2, square root of 2, multiplied by square root of c. So, that is square root of 2c. Sa baba naman, we have the square root of d squared times the square root of d squared times the square root of d squared, that is d raised to the third. D raised to the third times the square root of d. Kasi hindi pwedeng may simplify yon. After that, walang tubig. That is now 7c multiplied by the square root of 2cd over, that is d raised to d cubed times d, we now have d raised to the fourth. So, what is the final answer? The final answer is 7c square root of 2cd over d raised to the fourth. Yan. Ganyan ang mag-rationalize ng denominator. Now, for more examples, may we have Ma'am Delma for the IPVO.
Yan. Thank you, Ma'am Cora. So, let's have 3 more examples, I think. Meron tayong 3 pang examples na ipapakita with using our IPVO annotator. Wala na yan. Okay, so let's solve. Number 3. Kasi yung 1 and 2 natin kanina is about multiplication. So, mag-block tayo. Yan. Block na pen. Okay, number 3. Solve natin to. 7. Cube root naman to mga anak. Cube root. Pero ang gagawin ko, para makita nyo kung paano natin nasisimplify, si 4, isusulat ko na 2 squared. Para makita nyo na hindi siya perfect cube kasi ang exponent niya ay 2 lang. And with that, dun nyo makukuha yung clue kung ano ang pang-multiply nyo para ma-rationalize yung denominator. Kasi ang target natin ay matanggal yung radical sign sa denominator. So, paano magiging perfect cube itong denominator natin? So, ang kulang pa ay isa pang square root of 2. So, yun ang pang-multiply natin. Ay, square root, cube root. Isa pang cube root of 2. So, cube root of 2 over cube root of 2. Okay, so multiply natin. Numerator, numerator. So, we have 7 cube root of 2 all over cube root of 2 squared times 2 is 2 cube. Yan, perfect cube na siya. So, matatanggal na yung ating radical sign. So, ang final answer natin ay 7 cube root of 2 over 2. Nasundan mga anak? 7, di na natin masisimplify to 7 over 2 yung coefficients niya. So, ang final answer natin ay 7 cube root of 2 over 2. Okay, next example tayo. Next, number 4. Ang denominator naman natin ngayon ay binomial. So, paano gagawin natin dito? 4 over 5 minus square root of 2. Dahil ang target natin, matanggal yung ating radical sa denominator, ang pang-multiply naman natin ngayon ay yung conjugate niya. Anong ibig sabihin ng conjugate? Kung ito minus, ang pang-multiply natin ay yung opposite ng sign niya. So, ang pang-multiply natin dito ay 5 plus square root of 2. Yan. Kasi babalik tayo, lesson na ba ng grade 7 yon, yung sum and difference ng binomials, di ba? Na nawawala yung nasa middle term kasi nagiging 0. So, pag minultiply natin yan, mga anak, o distributive property 4 times 5 muna, that's 20. Be careful with the sign 4 times square root of 2 is plus 4 square root of 2. Hindi masyadong smooth ang pagsulat ng annotator ko ngayon, yung tablet, graphic tablet. Anyway, tuloy natin. Ito yung binomials natin. FOIL method ulit. So, 5 times 5, that's 25. 5 times square root of 2 is plus 5 square root of 2. Bakit hindi mukhang 5? Yan. Tapos, negative 2 times square root of 5 is negative 5 square root, nawala yung buntot niya, square root of 2. Tapos yung last term natin, negative square root of 2 times positive square root of 2 is negative square root of 4 or 2 squared. Pareho lang yon. Yan. So, simplify natin. 20 plus 4 square root of 2 all over, this is 25. Ito yung sinasabi ko, 5 square root of 2, yung isa ay negative 5 square root of 2, so that's 0. Cancel natin yon. Ito naman minus square root of 2 squared, nawala na yung square root kasi perfect square yan. So, minus 2. Malapit na tayo sa katotohanan. 20 plus 4 square root of 2 over 25 minus 2 is 23. Meron pa ba tayong masisimplify dyan? Wala na. So, ibig sabihin, yan na yung ating final answer. So, nasundan sana ha? Next, number 5, yung last nating example. Mahaba din to. Gusto ni Sir ng mahabang example. Bumabawi si Sir sa akin. Kaya ko to. Parang kulang yung space ko eh. Lalo na hindi ganun ka-smooth yung pagsulat nitong graphic tablet ngayon. Sige, pagkasyahin natin yan, Sir Sunny.
Yes, ma'am. Kailangan malaman kasi ng mga student natin
Square root
yan.
of 3 minus square root of 2 over, nagpapawisan na ako, Sir, Di ba may merienda ata mamaya? Okay. Yung sabi ko nga, mga anak, conjugate nung ating denominator. So, yung ating denominator ay 2 square root of 3 plus square root of 2. So, gagawin lang natin yun na minus. Kasi, para makancel yung middle terms natin mamaya. So, we have 2 square root of 3 minus square root of 2. Yan. So, 2 square root of 3 minus square root of 2. Medyo mahaba-haba ang pag-multiply natin. Kaya natin to. Power. Okay. Yung first term natin, 2 square root of 3 times 2 square root of 3, that is 4. Square root of 3 squared is 3. So, 4 times 3 is 12. O, nag-magic, ha? Okay. 2 times 2, 4. Ito, square root, matatanggal yung square root, kaya 3 na lang yon. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, next. 2 square root of 3 times yung second term, minus square root of 2, so that is minus 2 square root of 6. Bakit 6? Kasi square root of 3 ito ay square root of 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, next. My negative square root of 2 times 2 square root of 3, that is positive ba, mami? Minus. Ba't may nag-appear siyang color? Minus din to. Minus 2 square root of 6 pa rin. Yan. Ayaw nang magsulat. Yan. Last is negative square root of 2 times negative square root of 2. That is negative square root of 2 squared. So that is magiging minus 2 na lang. Yan. Ay, positive. Negative. So that's positive. Thank you, Ma'am Marley. Positive. Ayaw niyang mag-plus. Denominator natin, 2 square root of 3 times 2 square root of 3. Nasolve na natin yan kanina. That's 12. 2 square root of 3 times negative square root of 2 is negative 2 square root of 6. Square root of 2 times 2 square root of 3 is positive 2 square root of 6. Ayan, last. Ano ba?
Negative 2.
Last niya, square root of 2, positive, times negative square root of 2 is minus 2. Okay. Wala namang susunod. So, hindi ko na kailangang bilisan. Pinagpapawisan na ako dito.
Nakaka-dry ng throat.
Wala nang
Kaya nga,
epekto
sir,
yung
parang, kasi yung pangatlong mata ko, yung oras 2:21. Sabi ko, 30:30. Okay, simplify natin mga anak. Wala nga pala tayong kasunod ngayon. Sige lang. Hinga. So, numerator natin, 12. Negative square root of, negative 2 square root of 6 and negative 2 square root of 6 is negative 4 square root of 6. Tapos doon, plus 2. Yung dulo niya, denominator natin. 12 minus 2. May minus 2 tayo dito sa dulo. So, this is 10. Yan. Then, negative 2 square root of 6 and positive 2 square root of 6, 0 na yan. Nasundan ba mga anak? O, ayan, malapit na. 12 and 2. Hindi ko na lang alam kung saan siya isusulat. Wala ng space. 12 plus 2 is 14. Minus 4 is square root of 6. Square root over 10. Okay, simplify natin yan. Saan ko isusulat ang final answer? Dito na sa taas. 14 and 10, pwede. Tsaka 4. 14, 4, 10, pwede natin yan i-divide by 2. So, ang final answer natin, susulat ko na lang sa taas mga anak is 14 divided by 2 is 7. 4 divided by 2 is 2, is square root of 6 all over 5. So, from 14 minus 4 square root of 6 over 10, ang final answer natin ay 7 minus 2 square root of 6 over 10. Okay. So, mamaya, panoorin nyo ulit. Ay, over 5. Ba't 10 sinabi ko? Okay. Ang final answer natin ay 7 minus 2 square root of 6 over 5. Okay. Sana nakatulong mga anak. Ang radicals talaga ay mahirap. Pero pag pinagtyagaan nyo, matutunan at masundan, hindi nyo pagsisisihan. Kasi ang gamit niyan ay hanggang college. So, mapapakinabangan nyo ng bonggang-bongga. Okay, so that's it with our last example for division of radicals. Ma'am Cora.
Okay. Last na ba ito? Last yata ang mathematics na magla-live ngayong araw na ito. Okay. Sa atin bang oras? Sa atin bang oras? Okay. Let's have the summary.
Summary o matroleta?
Ay, matroleta. I'm sorry.
Matroleta.
Excited
Nakakasaya
naman
si
ako.
Cora.
Excited.
Yes.
Ba't ako nagmamadali sa atin ang oras eh?
Ayan. So thank you for the enthusiasm you have given in today's live streaming, Teacher Delma and Teacher Cora. For sure, our grade 8 SSC learners have learned a lot. Wow, we are almost done. So, ito na ang sagot sa ating math ruleta question.
Yes.
Anong sagot, sir?
The answer is the quotient of 2 plus the square root of 8 all over the square root of 2 minus the square root of 8 is letter D. Negative is square root of 2 minus 2. And, ilan ang nakakuha, ma'am?
10 ang ang nakapagbigay ng tamang sagot, sir, na nauna.
Ang galing-galing naman nila. Nahirapan si Ma'am Delma na nag-explain. Ang daming nakakuha ng tamang sagot. So, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Grade 8 SSC.
Okay, congratulations to Jamie Miel Lamog of 8 Aristotle, Sarah May Barrioso of 8 Aristotle, Kit Magaway of 8 SPJ, Natasha Pearl Tan, 9 Darwin, TJ Antolin of 8 Copernicus, Jessica Ramos of 9 Pasture, Arian Faye Carnate of 8 Copernicus, Cassandra Javier of 8 Copernicus, Camille Santos of 7 Newton, and Ryan Domingo of 7 Newton.
So, ano pang hinihintay natin? Paikutin na ang roleta ng kapalaran. Sino ang mapalad na magwawagi? Siyempre, taga-dansan. Okay, congratulations to TJ Antolin.
Yes, congratulations.
Okay. Sabi ko sa inyo, bukas naman ako. Okay. So, ano naman?
Binagbagi ni Sir Sunny, oh.
Okay, so, maraming salamat sa ating mga estudyanteng nakiparticipate sa ating live streaming sa ngayon. Congratulations sa mga nanalo sa ating Math Ruleta questions. At maraming salamat din sa ating generous benefactor ng mga prizes ng ating Roleta, si Ma'am Larna Tan Nevado. Teacher Sunny,
Yes.
sino-sino pang ating pasasalamatan, sir?
Okay, so bago natin pasalamatan, balikan natin ulit si Ma'am Cora sa kanyang summary. Okay, Ma'am Cora, alam ko atat na atat ka na kanina pa yan eh. Ibigay mo na ang iyong summary.
Kung gaano ako ka-excited kanina, mas excited si Sir Sunny. Kasi magpapamerienda ulit. Hey! Okay, let's have the summary of today's episode. To multiply radicals, multiply the coefficients, then multiply the radicands, then after that, you are going to simplify the remaining radicals if necessary or if it is needed. Next, to divide radicals, divide the coefficients, divide the radicands if possible, and rationalize the denominator so that there will be no radicals in the denominator. Okay? So back to you, Ma'am Marley Jane and Sir Sunny.
Okay, so thank you very much, Ma'am Cora. So it's now time for us to say thank you to our production team headed by our very intelligent teachers in the production team, Teacher Jasser Guillermo, Teacher Mark Bagamaspad, Teacher Dennis U. Mendoza, and of course, to our fatherly officer in charge, Dr. Rodrigo B. Pascua. To all of you, thank you very much. Sino pa yung pasasalamatan natin, ma'am?
Siyempre, maraming salamat sa ating mga learning facilitators, Teacher Delma Quaresma at Teacher Corazon Molina. Maraming salamat din sa ating Roleta organizers, Teacher Naida Mangabat at Teacher Marilyn Juliano. And siyempre, maraming salamat din sa ating napakagaling na RBI scriptwriter, Teacher Sunny Bugawisan. At maraming salamat sa inyong lahat na nakiparticipate sa ating live streaming for today.
Okay, so siyempre hindi natin makakalimutan ng ating head teacher although nagdadalamhati sa ngayon. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your full support kahit nandyan ka sa bahay ninyo. And then, siyempre sa aking kasama sa ngayon, wala po si Teacher Marky Guillermo, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, pero napalitan naman ng mas magaling, kaya hindi ako kinabahan kanina. Nandito naman si Ma'am Marley Jane Agonoy Espiritu.
Kasing galing, sir. Oo nga, sir.
Once again, thank you very much staying with us for today and see you again in our next episode sa ating
Mata Live
sa Facebook Live.
Bye!
Pre-calculus, advanced algebra, intermediate algebra, trigonometry, elementary algebra, geometry, mga araling dapat tuklasin, mathematics learning area, mathematics kahit saan, kahit kailan, mathematics, maaasahan, inyong tututukan dito sa 106.3 DWDR-FM. Basta Dance Radio, learning is amazing! Ito ang 106.3 Dance Radio. Dance Radio.
Prepare yourself.
Ang silid-aralan sa radyo, hatid namin ay makabagong paraan ng pagtuturo at kalaman.